Hello. This is going to be a little bit of a touchy subject that I'm going to talk about right now. I know a lot of you all might not agree. I just ask that you be respectful, that you do not leave mean comments, because there are, you know, victims of these families that are going through and they're trying to forgive. So I say all this to say the subject for today is justice. Now, what is justice actually? What I feel justice is when it's a fair verdict. So, if a person did the crime, then I'm going to be honest with you. Depending on what type of crime, okay, then they should do some of time. Now, if there are any other avenues far as to rehabilitate these criminals, and I want to say that word very lightly. Reason is because growing up, and I only can speak for me, it seemed like it depends on the level of criminality. I don't know if that's a word, but the level that you are a criminal. If you come from if you come from a rich background, you have a better chance than someone who comes from a poor background. I literally felt sick to my stomach. I watched, I can't even, it was about, there was a woman judge. I think it was Stephanie Stevens. I don't have anything against her. I do want to say this, that sometimes, depending on the crime, it's best to let the person that is accused to prove themselves. Reason why I'm saying that, there was a video of a young lady, and it was her first offense, and she was given life without parole. She was very young, had a lot going for herself. I understand the choice that she made, but we have to ask ourselves, did she deserve life? She looked like she could have been about 18, 20. I'm saying the question of, did she deserve life? That's all. I'm not saying that what I am saying, excuse me, I'm belching. So I am speaking the truth of how I feel. What I am saying is that couldn't we have done something else for her? Because now there's another youth or adolescent, however you want to look at it, that slipped through the cracks. I can say it now. Before I was hadn't really put in my resignation. I see this all the time. You know, working with foster children. I see how they can slip through the cracks. That's why I said it depends on your social status. Like, you know, as far as your, not social status, excuse me, your, is it social status? Yeah, I think it is. Your, whether you're in poverty, where you were born in poverty, where you were born, you know, in a rich family, whether you were adopted there, or whether, you know, you had parents that were rich, or even parents that were well off. It depends on what choice. If you have a crime, I'm just saying, I personally feel, and I only can speak for what Marla feels. I personally feel that we need to give our youth a chance. Let's not mark them as animals. Let's protect them while we can. I just feel very strongly about this because our youth slip through the cracks. Another example. And and you can read this stuff. So this is nothing that I'm, just telling. There's always just different examples where is justice really being served? Or are we trying to teach a lesson? Are we trying to teach someone a lesson? Are we trying to make a name for ourselves? Or are we really, do we really want justice to be served? Let's go back to a couple of that we know would be criminals. When you go back to Jeffrey Dahmer, when you go back to Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer killed several people. Basically cut them up and ate parts of their body. At the same time, was justice served for Jeffrey Dahmer? He went to jail, or he went to prison, and someone brutally took his life. Some people will say justice was served. Everyone has karma, okay? Whether it's good karma whether it's bad karma. He went to prison and his life was taken. Now, like I just said, I know this is a very touchy subject. And I don't know how you guys will feel. But what I'm about to say, I do feel that Jeffrey Dahmer was wrong in what he did. I do want to say, did anyone ever look into his history? Did anyone ever approach him as he was a child? See where he lived. See how he was brought up, what his childhood trauma was. I give that as an example. If we stop convicting our youth, which Jeffrey Dahmer was no youth. At the same time, Jeffrey Dahmer was still a soul. If we start helping our children now, then we can try to prevent a life sentence that they might not even deserve. I know I might sound crazy. I just have a passion. There's love in every situation. In every situation. I can remember being a student in high school, and we were talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. This is around the time where we found out that someone had took a broom handle and injected it into his anus, and it came out through his mouth. That is a lot of hate. I understand the crime that he committed, but was justice served? Some of you all will say yes. I will say no. I'm sorry. When I was in high school, they asked me that same question. And I said no. I had a lot of people, a lot of my classmates looking at me and talking about me. But one thing about me is I feel that justice was not served. Could we have helped him before this happened? And I just want to say, because I don't want my words to be twisted, I want to say that I am sending love and light and forgiveness to the victims of Jeffrey Dahmer. So I'm not in no ways saying that what he did, he should not have been punished for. But I'm saying, was justice served? If you put that on the other foot, would you want your loved one to die the way that he died? Sometimes we need to take ourselves out of the equation, our hurt, our pain, and really look at the situation from both angles. That's all I'm saying. But I do send forgiveness, that one day you can forgive. I'm just very passionate about that. I'm sorry. Especially after seeing that young lady, her court case, and it was on the news. And this young lady had family. She had support. She named her cousins. She named her like she had her parents were behind her. She named some aunts and some uncles that were behind her. And I understand one choice, one bad choice, cost her life. Where she got life in prison. Was never convicted. And life in prison. It just does something to my heart, my soul. It just really does. That's why I say, was justice really served? So, I know this was a very touchy subject. But sometimes we have to look at that. Are we in a world of hate? Where we'll look at something and agree with a verdict just because either we have hatred in our lives, or we really don't care. But either way, forgiveness needs to be said, needs to be done. If the whole wide world could heal on different issues in their lives, this world would be a better place. If this whole wide world could forgive, this whole wide world would be a better place. I just leave you all with that. So when you see something on TV, on the news, on the internet, ask yourself, was justice served? And if you feel that justice was served, then forget about it. Better yet, if you're a person like me, pray about it. Ask God to show you, was justice really served? Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Yawning. Because justice is never served when someone's life gets taken away. Whether it's the victim or whether it's the person who did the crime. Either way go, we're gonna lose. This world has to be a better place. We need to stop the killings. We need to stop the crime. I'm even hearing even the police brutality. So the next time either you witness a crime or you witness something that you question, is this a crime? Speak out. Don't let, I want to say, our officials choose if this is a crime. You speak out. You tell. If you see something, if you see someone hitting a child, in the grocery store. What I'm trying to say is, don't be afraid to speak out. Don't be afraid. There's so many things out there that we need to speak on as a whole until our change comes. Let your voice be heard. So, my name is Marla, and I am very passionate. Was justice served? That's all I want to say. Namaste, and I'm sending love and light always. May God's love into your hearts, into your life, and be surrounded by you. Amen.